Inside Evin Prison, in the area lying between wards 4 and 29 on one side, and ward 240 in the training center on the other, there was a compound later known as Behind Ward 4. This place witnessed scenes that the history of Iran will never forget. From the summer of 1981 to the winter of 1982, the nights of this hillside turned into the darkest pages of the repression. During the days, the prosecutor's office strike teams hunted down young people accused of dissent. The sheer volume of arrests was so high that on some days even the courtyards of the wards overflowed with detainees. With nightfall, the next phase of the crimes began. The young detainees, blindfolded and each person's hand placed on the shoulder of the one ahead, were taken by guards and besiege forces to the slopes behind the northern wall of Ward 4. A place whose embankments became soaked with the blood of thousands. The compound behind Ward 4 was not only an execution ground, it was a mirror displaying the required loyalty of everyone within the regime's structure. From interrogators to simple employees, from the prison cook to the general manager, even ministers and deputy ministers had to participate in firing squads to prove their devotion. Under Lajavardi's watch, they were required to fire the final shot into the throats and heads of prisoners. Among those executed were boys and girls whose ages sometimes barely reached 15. The executions were organized with mechanical precision. In each round, 30 prisoners stood by the embankment, facing 30 armed guards lined up before them. At the command of "fire," each executioner fired a 3-round burst into the chest of one of the 30 youths. Survivors later said the simultaneous crack of the rifles sounded like tipping over a truckload of iron rods all at once. Members of the firing squads wore full IRGC uniforms with patches, caps, and G3 rifles in firing position. The bullets rained down like molten metal on the thin bodies. The architect of this scene, Asadollah Lajavardi, personally oversaw the executions and often joined in delivering the final shots. After the initial volleys, the scene was handed over to the finishers, usually interrogators or strike team members. Testimonies exist of a survivor counting up to 450 final shots fired in a single night. The bodies were thrown into covered trucks. The trucks stayed there until morning, so the victim's blood would dry, leaving no red trail through the streets during transport. The next day, under secret escort, they were driven toward unknown graves. And now the echoes of those dark decades are being heard again. These scenes must be reconstructed, and this story must be told not out of hatred, but as a reminder so that suffering is not repeated. So new generations know what screams were silenced behind this long silence.